Wacker light towers provide illumination and power for large commercial and industrial job sites and recreational applications. Capable of generating light up to 7 acres, the mast can be rotated 360 degrees for versatile coverage. The generator provides power to run accessory tools and machinery. On this program, I'll demonstrate how to set up and operate a Wacker light tower. But before we begin, be sure to have the proper safety gear, such as hard hat, safety glasses, hearing protection, gloves, long pants, and work boots. Now let's find a suitable location. Locate the light tower on a firm, level surface, clear of overhead wires and obstructions. Leave plenty of room around the light tower so you can fully extend the outriggers. Now I'll connect the grounding rod.
Connect the ground stud located on the trailer frame to a good earthen ground. Always level the trailer and extend the outriggers before raising the tower. Begin by blocking or chocking the trailer wheels. Now let's begin leveling the trailer with the jacks. Pull the outrigger lock pin to release the outrigger. Pull the outrigger until you feel the pin lock back in place, or double check that the pin has engaged. Rotate the jacks down until they snap into position. Crank the side and rear jacks until they all rest firmly on the ground so that the trailer is level.
Loosening the lock nut gives us the ability to swivel the bulb. Get it in the position you're going to need to operate and light it back down. Now you'll loosen the bolts on either side of the bulb. And you can raise and lower the bulb depending on your needs. Once it's in position, lock both bolts back down. Our next step is to remove the cradle pin. This will allow us to raise the mast. Next, check to make sure that the telescoping mast pin is still engaged. Open up the compartment. Pull the mast pin out here. Check your cable for excessive wear or tear and replace if necessary. Now we're ready to raise up the mast. Once the mast has been raised to the full upright position, the locking pin will engage. Then secure it with the safety pin.
After the tower is up and locked in place, release tension on the cable by slightly backing off on the winch. This will allow you to pull the telescoping locking pin out. Hold the pin and activate the electric winch to start extending the mast until you reach the desired height. To rotate the mast, release the mast rotation locking knob, turn the mast as needed, and retighten the locking knob. Before starting the engine, check the oil and coolant levels. Next, check the fuel level. Check the electrical cable for cuts or abrasions. Check that the circuit breaker and switches are in their off positions. Turn the key to glow plug. Then, turn the key to start and hold until the engine starts. Release key after engine starts. Do not crank engine longer than 10 seconds. Allow the engine to warm up. Once the engine has reached full speed and runs smoothly, set main circuit breaker on. Then turn on each floodlight one at a time. The ballast indicator lights will come on and get brighter as lamps remain on to confirm power is reaching the lamp. The floodlights require a warm-up of 5 to 15 minutes before reaching full output. If floodlights are shut down, a 10-minute cool down is required before relighting. Power for accessories is available anytime the engine is running and the main circuit breaker is on. Check the GFI receptacle, push the test button in. The reset button should pop out. To restore power, push the reset button in. To stop, begin by turning off each lamp and remove any loads from the generator. Set the main circuit breaker switch to off. Turn the key to off. To lower the tower, activate the winch to collapse the mast until slack appears in the cable and the telescoping locking pin snaps into place. Secure it with the safety pin. Rotate the mast so the lights face the rear of the trailer. Pull out the mast locking pin and hold it. Activate the winch until the mast spring begins to pivot the tower down. Release the mast locking pin and let out cable slowly until mast rests in transport cradle. Secure with cradle lock pin.
Now let's demonstrate how to raise the mast on a manual winch light tower. Be sure to chock the tires, extend the outriggers, and raise the leveling jacks.
To raise the mast. After leveling the jacks and extending the outriggers, remove the cradle locking pin. Check the cable and electrical cords for damage. Using the tongue winch, raise the mast to the vertical position so that the mast locking pin locks the mast in place. Secure it with the safety pin. Crank the mast winch to extend the mast to the desired height. Caution: do not extend the tower beyond the red marking on the middle mast tube.
Now we'll lower the mast of the manual winch light tower.
To lower the mast, turn the mast winch to collapse the tower until slack appears in the cable. Once fully collapsed, pull the mast locking pin out and hold it while cranking the tongue winch until the mast spring begins to pivot the tower down. Release the mast locking pin and let out the winch until the mast rests in the transport cradle. Secure with the cradle lock pin. Whether manual or electric winch, after securing the cradle pin, return the side and rear jacks to the transport position. Next, detach the grounding wire from the trailer.
Always remember to allow 15 minutes for the lamps to cool. This will minimize damage to the bulbs. Remove the chocks from the tires, and we're ready to go. If you have any questions on operation, please contact your local rental dealer or distributor.